Love it or hate it, few could argue that Star Wars The Last Jedi bucked the trend of most Star Wars films by presenting the galaxy far, far away and its inhabitants in shades of grey. But The Last Jedi isn't the first story within the Star Wars franchise to do this. In fact, the greyness of the universe was perhaps best represented by a video game. Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. For many fans, The Sith Lords isn't just the franchise's best depiction of greyness, it's the best story outright. These days, hope seems to be the trope that most singularly defines Star Wars. But the Sith Lords took that trope and turned it on its head, instead choosing to explore hopelessness. The galaxy during this period is rife with struggle and a sense of futility.
The war was costly, and it shattered the Republic. In time, the Republic might recover.
The hopelessness explored by this game is most evident during the sequence on Nar Shaddaa. Upon arrival, you're approached by a refugee who begs for credits. Deny him and he becomes abusive. Assist him and your mentor, Kreia, admonishes you.
Why did you do such a thing? Such kindnesses will mean nothing. His path is set.
This is a genuine lose-lose moment that almost perfectly depicts the hopelessness that is present throughout the game. Whether your exile is a light or dark side character, your mentor, Kreia, has a very unique and un-Jedi-like view of the Force. Kreia views it as a malevolent entity with a will to control the destiny of living beings.
I wield it, but it uses us all, and that is abhorrent to me.
Perceiving the Force in this way is something that has never been explored within the canon franchise, and is perhaps a far more compelling perception than the prequel trilogy could muster.
I've been wondering, what are midichlorians?
Kreia is a character who, rather than wanting to harness the power of the Force like the Jedi and Sith of the films, wants instead to destroy it. She truly loathes it. She's been both the Jedi Master and the Sith Lord Darth Traya.
What do you wish to hear? That I once believed in the code of the Jedi?
And it's her complex relationship with the Force that allows her to present the exile with knowledge and wisdom that is surprisingly nuanced and quite philosophical.
It is the rising swell at the end of life.
And she vigorously preaches against over-reliance on the Force.
Take the greatest Jedi Knight, strip away the Force, and what remains?
Kreia's backstory is a tragic one. She's a failed Jedi Master who the Jedi Council held responsible for the fall of Revan, and then a failed Sith Lord who was betrayed by her two apprentices, Nihilus and Sion.
And only when it was ripped from me did I truly see it.
Her disdain for the Force is entirely relatable. In the exile, she sees the means to destroy the Force, but ends up genuinely caring for her, just as she did Revan before.
You may trust in me.
She had a love for Revan, which was then duplicated with the exile. Indeed, it's suggested that it was love that led to her hatred of the Force and her fall to the dark side.
It is such a quiet thing to fall, but far more terrible is to admit it.
The Sith Lords takes the key themes of the Star Wars franchise, hope, the Force, and balance, and essentially explores the antithesis of them, presenting them in a truly unique way that still manages to remain true to the overarching Star Wars mythology. But it also forms a symbiosis with those themes. You can't have hope without hopelessness, you can't bring balance without imbalance, and you can't have light without dark. While it's far from a perfect game, the fact that the Sith Lords tells a unique story within a universe that is far too fond of following a set of standard tropes means that it may be the perfect Star Wars story.
Nothing is impossible with the Force.
For more Star Wars stories, check out every Star Wars game ever and the Star Wars Saga in 7 minutes.